Okay, think about this for a second. The trust we put in, human connections. What happens when that's just completely shattered?
Yeah.
When, affection twists into something dark, something obsessive you just can't escape. It's a really unsettling thought.
It really is. You don't often think about that dark side.
Exactly. So today, we're doing a deep dive into that chilling territory. We're looking at some real-life stories from Japan. Stories about extreme obsession, about stalking.
And the scale of this it's pretty shocking, isn't it?
It is. I mean, just last year, over 22,000 stalking incidents were reported in Japan alone. 22,000.
That's staggering. It really highlights how pervasive this is.
Right. And these aren't just urban legends or made-up tales. These are real accounts coming directly from people who lived through it or, witnessed it firsthand.
So the goal today is really to get inside these stories.
Yeah, our mission is to kind of unpack these narratives, see how these intense fixations actually progress, and what happens when those crucial boundaries just completely fall apart.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Right.
So this first story, it comes from a friend of mine who works at a private investigation company over in Japan. Let's call it the Japanese Private Eye Service.
Okay.
Now, this friend, they're very level-headed.
Yeah.
Not prone to, exaggeration or anything. So this story, even though it sounds almost unbelievable, it feels chillingly real because of the source.
Got it. Sets the stage.
It starts back in January 2013. There's a young guy, we'll call him Mr. Ichi. He meets this woman, Koiko, at a house party. Brief meeting. They didn't even properly introduce themselves.
Just a passing encounter, really.
That's what he thought. But for Koiko, that quick glimpse was enough. It sparked this deep, terrifying obsession.
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, and her early stalking, it was weirdly quiet. She'd just wait outside his apartment door or stand across the street staring up at his window.
Not aggressive then, just there.
Exactly. She never hurt him physically. If he asked her to leave, she actually would. It wasn't overtly malicious. It was more this unsettling, constant, silent presence. Started to really wear him down.
I can imagine that constant feeling of being watched.
So, yeah, he got sick of it. He called the Private Eye Service, my friend's company, and their advice was pretty straightforward. Just disengage.
Ignore her, basically.
Right. They figured this type of stalker often loses interest if you don't give them any reaction. And, for a bit, it seemed like it was working.
Oh, bad.
Her visits got less frequent, then stopped completely for about 2 months. Mr. Ichi probably thought he was finally free.
Okay, so there's a but coming here, I feel.
Oh, yeah. Then came the escalation. One night, he gets home late, maybe 10 p.m. He walks into his apartment, and he sees a shadow. It's Koiko. She's already inside.
Whoa. Okay, that's a huge violation. How did she even get in?
That's the really unsettling part. According to the source, Koiko just told him the landlady let me in.
The landlady? Why would she do that?
Because she had seen Koiko hanging around so often, she just assumed they were a couple. Gave her a spare key.
Oh no, that's a dangerous assumption. It really shows how distorted perceptions can be and how outsiders might not see the danger.
Exactly. So Mr. Ichi, his fear just turns instantly to rage. He's yelling at her, get out, telling her he has a girlfriend, threatening to call the cops.
It's like trying to assert control, finally.
Yeah, but Koiko, she doesn't move, just stands there, staring. Then, totally calm, no expression change, nothing. She reaches into her handbag.
Okay, my stomach just dropped.
She pulls out a knife.
Yeah.
Mr. Ichi backs up, obviously terrified. But she doesn't go towards him.
No, then what?
Instead, Koiko slowly raises the knife and starts repeatedly slicing her own wrist. Blood everywhere. In the kitchen.
Oh my God. That's horrifying and manipulative.
Totally. He's in shock, obviously, but he rushes her to a hospital. She survived. He didn't stick around, just left her there.
Can't blame him.
Months go by. He's got some money problems, but also this really weird sense of guilt about it all.
Which is classic, right? Stalkers often make victims feel responsible.
Exactly. So he ends up moving away from Tokyo back to his hometown. Doesn't tell anyone the real reason, not even his family. He just wants to escape the whole nightmare.
A fresh start. Or so he hoped.
Yeah, but the real twist, the truly insane part, was still coming. 6 months later, he gets home from work one evening. He hears voices inside. His parents. His brother, who he hasn't seen in 2 years.
Okay.
And another voice. One that makes his blood run cold. Impossibly familiar. He walks into the living room, and Koiko stands up.
No way.
He's just standing there, probably mouth open, terrified.
Yeah.
And his mom, smiling, says, "Welcome home. This is Koiko. She's going to be your sister."
She has sister? What?
Koiko smiles at him. "Nice to meet you, Ichi." She'd found him. Found his family, his new home,
Yeah.
and his brother. They were engaged. And she was 2 months pregnant.
That is unbelievably calculating.
Yeah.
She targeted the brother.
Seems like it. Mr. Ichi desperately tried to tell his parents the truth, showed them her scars, everything. But they didn't believe him. They sided with the brother, the favored son.
Wow. So he was completely trapped.
Completely. His only option, he requested a work transfer to the USA, just to get away. And as far as my private eye friend knows, Koiko and the brother, they're still together.
That's one of the most chilling stories I think I've ever heard. The long game she played. Incredible.
It's deeply disturbing. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. From that almost unbelievable third-party account, we move to something more direct. A first-person story from one of our listeners.
Okay.
This is about their relationship with a woman named Haruka and the absolute control she exerted.
Control is often at the heart of these things.
Definitely. The listener said Haruka seemed kind at first. That's what drew them in. But that kindness quickly got buried under this, suffocating pessimism. The listener actually suspected borderline personality disorder later on, saying her really strange traits only came out after they started dating.
Right. And borderline personality disorder, it's often marked by exactly that kind of thing. Intense, unstable relationships, wild mood swings, fear of abandonment. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but it helps understand the potential underlying drivers for that kind of extreme control.
Yeah, that makes sense. And her controlling behavior just escalated fast. Every phone call needed an interrogation. Who was that? What did you talk about? If the narrator didn't answer right away, she'd just keep at them.
Constant pressure.
Totally. Weekends were hers. Completely. Every minute. If the narrator had to travel for work, she'd call hourly, demanding proof they were actually working. No privacy, none.
That sounds absolutely suffocating.
And then came the threats. She'd say things almost casually, like, if you ever leave me for another girl, you know I'd kill you.
Whoa, casual threats of murder? Not okay?
Not at all. The narrator knew it wasn't normal, but was still kind of hoping things would get better,
The hope trap. It's
Yeah.
common.
Yeah. At one point, the narrator actually went to Haruka's parents, hoping for help. Didn't tell Haruka. But before they could even bring up the issues, the parents just gushed about how happy Haruka was, how he had changed her life for the better.
Oh, man. So they saw him as the solution, not someone needing help from her.
Exactly. It made it impossible to talk about her behavior. So the narrator left, just trying to convince themselves, again, I can make this work.
That's heartbreaking.
And, predictably, it got worse. The control tightened. No talking to other women, period. Haruka would grab his phone and delete female colleagues' numbers.
Seriously?
Yeah. Couldn't even say hi to female neighbors.
Yeah.
In restaurants. If the server was a woman, Haruka ordered for him. He wasn't even allowed to look at the server.
That's just extreme. It doesn't even cover it. It's total erasure of his autonomy.
It was unbearable. So finally, the narrator decided this is it. It has to end. They prepared carefully, wrote out a kind, gentle breakup speech, went to her apartment.
Bracing themselves, I imagine.
Totally. They delivered the speech, finished. Probably felt relief for a split second. Then they looked up at Haruka. Her face. It wasn't sad. It was just pure rage.
Oh, boy.
He described it as a devilish snare. Before he could even process it, she grabbed his shirt, threw him down with what he called otherworldly strength. Then she ran into the kitchen, screaming these horrible threats.
Like what?
Things like, you don't deserve to live, you disgusting degenerate. I'm going to cut your throat, man, and if I can't have you, no one can.
Okay, this turned violent fast.
Instantly. Yeah. The narrator just fled, didn't even grab their shoes, ran out the door, stumbled towards the stairs 5 flights down. Then Haruka burst out of her room, like he said, like a woman possessed, knife in hand, clearly meaning to kill him.
Chasing him down the stairs with a knife.
Yeah, he's running for his life, her screams echoing behind him. He gets to the ground floor, and in this moment of desperate instinct, he ducks behind the stairs into the shadows.
Smart move.
As she comes pounding down, he sticks his leg out, trips her. He heard a crack. She went flying, crashed face first onto the ground. That gave him just enough time to bolt for his car and get away.
Wow. That's an incredibly close call. Quick thinking saved him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
After that, he moved departments immediately. Told all his colleagues, do not give anyone my new address. He decided against going to the police.
Why not, after something like that?
He was afraid she'd retaliate, maybe file countercharges, make him look like the aggressor. He just felt trapped. But he knew, absolutely knew, she would have killed him.
That fear of not being believed or the system failing you is sadly common for victims.
It is. And then, the epilogue. Days later, a letter arrives. No stamp. Hand-delivered. Inside just one sentence. I will always be waiting for you. and below it, a red lipstick kiss mark.
Chills. She found him already?
She found him. He was terrified and basically asking for any advice on what to do.
Man, these stories just keep getting darker. What's next?
Okay, our third story. And this one. Maybe it's the logic behind it that's the most disturbing part. This comes via a psychiatrist friend in Tokyo.
Okay, a professional perspective.
Yeah, and he apparently admitted he almost didn't believe it himself at first. Had to wait until the patient was sober, saw her written account to really accept it was true.
That says something about how extreme this must be.
Right. So the patient, a woman, is telling the psychiatrist about her breakup. Her boyfriend told her he wanted out, said she was too heavy.
Heavy, like emotionally.
Exactly. An emotional burden, clingy, overprotective. That's what he said. But she couldn't understand it. From her perspective, she'd given him everything, her time, her money, cooked for him. She saw herself as like a second mother.
Devoted in her mind.
Completely devoted. How could providing his every need be a mental burden? She just couldn't grasp it.
A total disconnect in perception.
Totally. And his final words to her during the breakup were simple. Get out of my sight as fast as possible.
Harsh, but clear. He wanted distance.
That's how we hear it. But her interpretation was horrifyingly different. She thought, okay, I'll grant his wish. I'll do anything for him. But if she got out of his sight, she couldn't see him anymore.
Uh-oh, I see where this might be going.
Right. And that she couldn't bear. She couldn't leave him. So she thought about it, really thought about it, and came up with what she believed was the only solution. The way to fulfill his command, get out of his sight, but in a way that meant she wouldn't have to leave him.
Okay, what did she do?
She went to a convenience store, bought a screwdriver, went to his apartment. When he opened the door, she plunged the screwdriver straight into his right eye.
Oh my God.
And it gets worse. The account continues. As he's on the floor, obviously in agony, she gets on top of him, drives the screwdriver into his left cheek, and works it into his other eye socket.
Jeez.
And she described the sound it made, the squelch, as cute.
Cute. That defies any kind of rational understanding. How does someone even arrive at that point? Psychologically, what is happening there?
It's just mind-bending.
It really is. This isn't just a misunderstanding. It points to a really severe cognitive distortion. She's literally reinterpreting his words, twisting reality itself to fit this desperate internal need to not be separated from him. The psychiatrist believes she genuinely thought she was fulfilling the request.
Fulfilling it by blinding him.
Exactly. By making it so he couldn't see her effectively getting out of his sight. She wouldn't have to physically leave. She wouldn't lose the connection in her mind. It's an absolutely chilling example of how love, or what someone perceives as love, can become so pathologically twisted.
Wow. So looking back at all three of these stories, Mr. Ichi, Haruka, this last woman, what's the common thread that jumps out at you? Beyond just the horror.
Well, it's that progression, isn't it? It starts with fixation, maybe some boundary testing like Koiko just showing up, or Haruka's initial controlling questions. Then when the victim tries to pull away or end it, that's often the trigger for serious escalation.
Yeah, ignoring Koiko seemed to work briefly, but then she escalated dramatically. Breaking up with Haruka led to immediate violence.
Exactly. It's like the attempt to disengage paradoxically fuels the fire for these individuals. And underlying it all is this theme of distorted love turning into extreme possessiveness, a complete breakdown of boundaries where the perpetrator feels utterly justified.
That justification is terrifying, like the woman with the screwdriver genuinely believing she was granting his wish.
Right. And the impact on the victims. We talked about Mr. Ichi's guilt, the narrator's terror and fear of countercharges. That isolation and entrapment is a key part of the psychological damage.
Why do you think that guilt is such a common factor? Is it something the perpetrators actively try to instill?
Often, yes. It's a manipulation tactic. But making the victim feel responsible for the stalker's feelings or actions, you made me do this, or if you hadn't left me. They maintain a form of control. It keeps the victim emotionally entangled, makes them hesitant to seek help because they feel partly to blame or fear others will blame them too.
It really traps them. Makes you wonder, what pushes someone to these absolute extremes? How does a mind even justify blinding someone or hunting them down with a knife?
It often stems from a profound inability to handle rejection or loss. Their sense of self might be so wrapped up in the other person that losing them feels like dying. It's an existential threat to them. And societally, it's tough because the early stages can be subtle, hard to prove.
Just unwanted attention.
Right, until it's not. And by then, the psychological scars are deep. Recognizing those early boundary violations, that's so critical.
Yeah. This has been Well, a truly unsettling deep dive. These stories are raw, they're disturbing, but understanding these patterns feels important somehow.
Definitely vital.
So we'll leave you, the listener, with maybe a final thought to chew on. What is it in the human psyche that allows love, or the idea of love, to curdle into something so consuming, so destructive?
Yeah, what makes someone so utterly unwilling to let go no matter who they destroy in the process, including often themselves?
It's a heavy question. If you found this exploration, unsettling as it was, compelling, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docx. We appreciate the support.
Stay aware out there.
Yeah. Until next time, stay safe. And maybe keep an eye on the shadows.